What is going on, you guys? Welcome to episode 3 of the Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. And, well, guys, it's not shaping out to be a good season from the beginning. So we are going to be sellers. Depending on what the trade deadline looks coming up, which we're not even an all-star game yet, so we are going to sim up to the all-star game. Actually, we're going to sim to the trade deadline. And we're going to take a look at our team and see how it looks. And who should go, who should stay. Which there are a few players that are going to stay regardless, like Mark Scheifele, obviously. Dustin Byfuglien, we're going to let him retire as a Jet. And, you know, maybe we're going to try to keep Blake Wheeler too. We'll see how he does. And maybe there are some players we are going to move. So we're just going to let the simulation do the talking. And so far, 2 losses. We got a point in 1 and then a shootout win and then an overtime loss. So it seems like if we win, it's barely, but if we lose, it's by barely. So like we're just going along for the ride basically. We're 16, 27, and 3. I'm thinking we deal away maybe a few of our depth players, like our good like second liners who aren't gonna get any better, for like a first, if that's even possible, or a second. And because the draft lottery is in this game, so we will have a chance at winning the draft lottery if we do get just basically a first-round pick from a team that's not making the playoffs. But we want to try to send our players to teams that are going to make the playoffs, just because it's just weird sending players to a team that's not going to go anything. Okay, here's a trade that we are going to look at, and we are going to consider it. New York Rangers gave us a third from this year and next year for Drew Stafford. Now, I would like a second from them. They are willing to give away a first, and they are a contender. So maybe we can somehow get, instead of doing 2/3, what if we were to take, I would like to get a first. They don't have a second, though. Like, we could somehow, if we throw something else in, we might be able to get a first. What else would they be interested in? Maybe if they're interested in something else, I'd be willing to dance with them and give them maybe a first. Or give us a first, and maybe I'll be able to give someone up. But, I mean, Drew Stafford, I'd like to give away, but I don't think we'd be able to make this trade work. So maybe with another team, I want at least a second. Thirds are great, but I would like at least a second-round pick. So, thanks, New York, but we're not going to make a deal with you. You do not have a second-round pick, and a first pick is just too high value for Drew Stafford unless there's another player they take from our team. So we're just going to continue simulation here and move along with this up until the trade deadline, where we are going to make some moves. And I'm not going to end the video on the trade deadline. I'm going to let you guys comment any other trades we should make on the trade deadline. So that way, next time I record an episode, we'll still be at the trade deadline, and I can still make another move if you guys think we should. So we're just trying to get rid of Drew Stafford basically in this episode. If we do, we went on a little 2-game winning streak right here. So hopefully we do that. And Nikolai Ehlers, there was a comment explaining to me that, yeah, they may not say their first line ready, but it's because of their physical category. As long as their offensive category is fine, keep it that way. And okay, so there's an action we have to do. Let's edit our scouting report and we'll stop simulation to do it. So I read that comment, and I'd post it on the screen if I could find it. And if I found it, there it is. If I didn't find it, it's not on the screen. I'll probably find it and post it on the screen. So, yep. That comment, basically, I read that comment, and it opened my eyes to letting most of our prospects play in the NHL this season. I feel like it would help us. I mean, it wouldn't hurt us. I mean, we're trying to win the draft lottery, so okay, what's going on here? Team prestige. Okay, yeah, our team is bad right now. So there's really nothing we can do, though, because we're not a contending team, but that might hurt us. So parking lot does need maintenance, so we're going ahead and take care of that. And we're repair that, and that should be fine. So yeah, that's that. So with the concessions and everything, we do want to try to keep these up as much as we can. Owner goal requirement. So yeah, So, anyways, I don't know who else we should deal away. Drew Stafford, I feel like he is a player that we need to deal before the trade deadline, and I just feel like it's necessary. I'm not going to send him to the trade deadline because I don't know if they brought back the action with the trade deadline or not. I haven't really looked into it, so I'm just going to stop right before the trade deadline, and then next episode is when we'll deal with the trade deadline. But we'll make some trades if they come to us. Right now, we're 24, 34, and 4. We are dropping games left and right. As I say that, we win the Ottawa. We win against Ottawa, and then we beat Toronto 7-1. So, okay. That's next year. So we do want a pick for this year. New York is really interested in Drew Stafford. So, actually, if New York is interested in Drew Stafford, if they have like a prospect or something they'd be willing to give away, I'd take it. But a second for next year is not really what I would like. I'd like a second for this year. I mean, who's this Grop guy? He has medium top 9 left. He's a left wing. I don't know if I'd be interested in him. Power forward. I don't feel like we would need him. We don't need a goalie. We have 2 really good prospect goalies. I mean, maybe we do need a forward. Do they have someone they'd be willing to deal away with? I don't think so. New York, we just cannot find a way to trade for New York. If that was this year's, I'd jump on that. But it's next season's. Unfortunately, I really wish they had a pick for this year because they want Drew Stafford and they're willing to give us a second pick for Drew Stafford. They have 2 picks from next year, but we're just not. I just don't want that second round pick from next year. We want this year because my master plan is this is going to be a 1-year rebuild. Hopefully it's not even a rebuild. It's just a little, reconstruction of the team, and that's it. That's why we're keeping Blake Wheeler. That's why we're keeping Dustin Bufflin. That's why we're keeping Brian Little. We're going to try to keep as many of these big players as we can. That way we don't have to trade them away, get a bunch of first round picks, have a few bad years, and go from there. We're just gonna do a 1-year rebuild. So we're gonna stop here, and we do have to maintain some stuff because I should have done it when I was in there earlier, but I didn't. It's just concession, and I would think it was concession and club seats and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and just repair them. We're upgrading everything within a season or 2, and maybe not this upcoming season, but the season after. Well, actually, it just depends on when you guys tell me to in the comments. We may relocate and see how that is. So anything's possible with this GM mode. All right, so let's see how everybody's doing before we make a trade. We are 6th in the Central Division, so I don't think we're last. I think we're right before last in the Central. Blake Wheeler's leading the team with 46 points. That's what I can see right now. So yeah. Drew Stafford has 33 points in 63 games, but he has lost morale since I've thrown him on the trade block. A team will definitely use him, that's for sure. Mark Scheifele's doing decent, and Blake Wheeler's right there. Nikolai Ehlers is getting better, so that is great. To see his puck skills are high, his shooting's decent, and his skating's really high. But his physical category is low. That's why his overall is not very high, and that's why he's a third liner, because of his physical category. If it wasn't for his physical category, he'd probably be an 86, 87 overall if it was just based off offense. But it's also based off physical. That's why Mark Scheifele is at 87, and Nikolai Ehlers is at 84. Which Mark Scheifele is probably going to be the future captain of this team one day, depending on how everything goes, because we do have him locked up for 8 years. So that's great. So, let's check where we stand in the NHL. I would like to get another first-round pick while the Blues are below us. Let's check to see where we stand. Total. Okay, so we're number 28 out of 30. That's pretty bad, but yeah. And we've played more games than both St. Louis and the team that was under us. I think it was it Toronto? No, Ottawa. I don't know why I thought Toronto. Toronto's 2 ahead of us. But, so, we might send the team to the Eastern Conference to get it away from us. So, Drew Stafford, we might try to send him to... I want to send him to a team that's, not guaranteed to make the playoffs. New York would have been great. Actually, where is New York? New York's out of the playoffs. Yeah, the Rangers are out of the playoffs. I don't know why they would try to acquire him. Maybe Florida would be a good partner to deal with. Send him to Florida, or send him to I want to send him to the East. So Florida, Boston, and maybe Tampa Bay. We'll try those, or New Jersey if we really want to be up there, New Jersey. So let's try to see if we can find a home for Drew Stafford. All right, guys, here's a trade we have. We're gonna try to take Florida's first round pick for Drew Stafford and Anthony or Alex or Anthony, whatever his name is, Peluso. Yeah, Anthony Peluso. He's on the fourth line, but he's a 76 overall. I feel like we could call one of our prospects up to play on the fourth line, and then they could get better and get some NHL experience. Send him to a team that could use him in the playoffs. Florida, they are a contender. Our status is only hopeful. So yeah, we're sending them Drew Stafford. We're sending them a second round for next year, and then a third from the year after that. That way, it will compensate for the first round pick, because Drew Stafford's not worth the first round pick, and basically that'll make up for the cap they're taking. Let's see if this trade would go through, and it will. So it's a done deal for sure. And so we're going to go to roster moves, and we're going to call up a prospect. Let's see who we should call up. Let's go to in the system. And I'm thinking he was a left wing. Patrick Laine is 80 overall. So let's call up. I don't want to call up Patrick Laine. How's he doing? How's Patrick Laine doing? Ooh, he's tearing it up down there. 15 goals, 34 assists. He's a plus 16, so he's tearing it up down there. I do not want to bring him up yet. I want to leave him down there for the remainder of the season. And next season when he comes up, he might be like a high 80. I don't want to call him up too early. What about Quentin Howden? Maybe he'd be decent to call up. I might just do that. Yeah, he's down there playing with Patrick Laine, though. We're going to call up Quentin Howden just because he's played in the NHL already, and he can take the spot we need. And let's go best lines and see what they look like so far, and then we'll swap them around, and we'll see what we can do. So let me take a look at the lines, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, here's the lines we got so far. Blake Wheeler's playing on the left side. They put Nikolai Ehlers, however you say his name, on the right side. I believe it's Nikolai Ehlers. That way, because he's a right wing, we don't want him playing on the offset wing. So we put him on the right wing, and then Mark Scheifele's down the center. Then Brian Little is down the center on the second line. Joel Armia and Marco Dano. Third line, Thorburn, which we could get rid of. He's a fourth liner playing third line. I wouldn't mind getting rid of him. Maybe a team would use him going into the trade deadline, so we're going to throw him in the block with Adam Lowry and Sean Matthias, which we're also going to throw him in the block. He's a good third liner, but maybe a team could use him in the playoffs. Then Alexander Burmistrov, and then Andrew Kopp and Quentin Howden. So who is the call-up? And then goalies, obviously, we have Pavlik and Hutchinson in net. And then defensive-wise, we do have basically the same. Tyler Myers, Dustin Byfuglien, Mark Streit, Jacob Trouba, Ben Chariot, and Toby Enstrom. So basically the same defensive line. Literally nothing's changed. So we are going to throw a few people on the trade block, though, before the trade deadline, which we're probably going to end up moving 90% of the players we throw in the trade deadlock on the on the trade block before the trade deadline. So let's go to the trading block and throw them on there. And maybe we find a few other second, third round picks. I doubt we're going to get another first. So we're going to edit our trade block. I believe we have nothing on there right now. So let's throw some things on there. First one I want to throw on there is Thorburn. Where is he at? He's like an 81, so he's probably going to be way down here. Where is he at? There he is, right there. We'll throw him on there. He's got a little bit of trade value. Maybe a team would use him for going to the Stanley Cup. Maybe they need that depth fourth liner. We'll throw... I kind of want to throw Pavlik on there. But if I do that, I'm afraid... Actually, Helbig and Comrie could both be ready for next season, but we're not going to do that. How many more years do we have Pavlik for? 1 year, so he's going to be gone after this year anyways. So, yeah, we're not even going to worry about that. Let's throw any defenseman we could get rid of. We have Logan Stanley coming up soon, too. And Green. I don't know if we have anybody else to throw on there. Maybe we'll throw Postma on there. And maybe I'll even throw. Oh, that's right. We're gonna throw. Where's he at? I know who we're gonna throw on there. I said his name, Stemniak or wherever. Not Stemniak. Matthias. I always say Stemniak when I think of Matthias. There we go. We'll throw these three on there, and maybe we get a trade for them. Hopefully we do. We probably won't though. It wouldn't surprise me. And we'll see how that goes going into the trade deadline. And basically, I'm gonna look around and see if there is a team that would be interested in any of them. All right, guys. Right off the back, I found a team that would be interested in both of them. Thorburn and Matthias, and that's the Boston Bruins. And they're basically just about in the playoffs. They're hopeful to make it, so they are going to buy players to get into the playoffs, and they are willing to give away their first-round pick. Now, we're going to have to pay a little bit for this first-round pick because these two are not going to be worth a first-round pick, so we are going to have to throw something else in. Maybe we throw in... I don't want to give away any more picks for the future, even though we could. I'm probably going to throw in some unsigned skaters that aren't really going to be worth anything. I don't want to throw in anybody really good, but someone we don't necessarily need. Centers are great to have, but I don't think we're going to use all these guys. They both seem to be the Michael Spask and Jason Harnix. I feel like we keep Harnix and give them Spask, and the value's almost there. We're throwing like a fourth for this year, and that should go through, I hope. We're throwing this year's third, and yeah, that's definitely gonna go through now. And we could have a first from Boston, and Patrick Laine is gonna get called up to the NHL, so that's awesome. I believe we have 3 first-round picks now for this year, and we're into the roster moves. We are gonna call up Patrick Laine, and actually, I'm just gonna hit autofix roster, and we're going to go look at the lines and see what they look like. Okay, so right away, they have Patrick Laine playing on the first line. I do not agree with that. As much as I would like to see Patrick Laine in the first line already, actually, he can play on the first line. I don't want to hurt him. I really don't want to hurt him when he grows, though. Playing him on the first line this early could be bad for him. His skating's not all great yet, and his shooting category is pretty sick, and his puck skills is really sick. But his skating category is kind of low, and his physical category is decent, but his defensive category is terrible. His census category is amazing. I just don't know if he would be ready for the first line minutes. What if we could, play him on the second line? I don't want to hurt Marco Dano either. It seems like he'd be better up there. Let's put Nikolai Ehlers back on the first line. Put Blake Wheeler back there, and we'll have Patrick Laine playing with. I do want him to play with Joel Armia, because he's basically going to be up there with him eventually. So will Marco Dano, but let's get him with Armia. Actually, it makes sense for him to play Marco Dano. What am I saying? And maybe we put Patrick Laine in the third line. No. I think he's good there. And then Nick Patan is actually getting some ice time now, too. Defensive-wise, it's still exactly the same. Nothing changes defensively. We have a great defensive core right now that's going to be changed in the offseason, unfortunately. And then down here, it's really not changing down here. We still have Chase Delio down the middle. And Brendan Tanev is playing Brendan Lemieux. So basically the same team it was, just minus the best players. Now, Josh Morrissey is an 80 overall now, so he could get better, hopefully, by the end of the season. Maybe he gets a jump to like an 81, 82, and we can play him like third line NHL. And like third defensive line NHL, and then Paul Postma would be great too, even though he's 28, so we are looking to deal him, possibly. It really wouldn't hurt if we do. And then Brandon Kitchener, not really going to be anything. Yeah, so one thing we need in this draft is defensive prospects, and I will keep my mind open for that. But we have 2 goalies that are going to battle for the starting position within probably a year, Eric Comrie and Connor Helbig, which Connor Helbig is 2 years older than Eric Comrie, so he is probably going to have a little more experience than Eric Comrie will and be ready faster. But that's fine because maybe he can get starting job this upcoming season. So hopefully Patrick Laine does good there. I'm afraid to play him on the right wing, though. I want to play him on the left wing. I want to play him on the right wing, not the left wing. I don't want to hurt Marco Dano, but I'd rather Patrick Laine get to his full potential than Marco Dano. I know it sounds cruel, but obviously Patrick Laine has more potential. And this is the lines we're rolling with. I'm not going to do any more simulation this episode. So we're going to do the managing stuff, like the budget and everything now. So those of you who are only here for the trades and everything like that, this is the part where you guys are probably leaving. Actually, let's check the morale out first, because I haven't looked at it yet this season, and it's probably screwed up. I haven't gotten any notifications about it or anything. And Quentin Howden is the only one. It's just about to call up. So Absurdo, common, demanding, motivated. Let's motivate him. And he isn't very inspired. Okay, I see how it is. So I like it how they have added those now, and I feel like that's better because each team would probably be different. Now captains, we're not going to touch anything else. So progress reports. Let's see how much Patrick Laine has actually grown so far. I feel like this would be interesting. He's grown a lot. That's great. He's probably going to be 85 or 40 next season, and if he is, that would be exactly what we need. All right, guys. So we're going to go manage all the budgets and everything, the promotions. So yeah, we're gonna go to the arena and facilities, and we're gonna do some things in here because we are gonna upgrade some things because it is gonna be a hard season. So we are gonna upgrade. I don't think we have the budget to upgrade anything actually. Yeah, because we just did that. I don't think we necessarily have the budget yet. We may lower the prices on some tickets though, because it is gonna be a hard season. So probably lower each ticket down a few dollars, because it is going to be harder to sell tickets when we are losing games, and we are going to start dropping games. So we are going to drop the prices of everything. I think the concession's fine. Keep the food how it is. I guess it's doing okay. I mean, if nobody's at the game, nobody's buying food. So that's the main thing I'm worried about. And let's check out the merchandise. Now, there's a lot of merchandise to go through. So, I'll probably set this in a later episode when we have more time. But, regular parking, we're going to drop the price of parking down quite a bit. Probably, let's make it about $15, $15.50 even. And that should be fine, because it is going to be harder to bring people into the arena when you are losing. And GM firing is on, so it is kind of concerning that we are going to be losing games, but I think we will be fine. I'm going to end the video here, guys, but I feel like there's more moves we can make, and I feel like you guys are going to give me some more moves to make. So if you guys know any other trades we should make, please comment them down below in the comments. Press that like button if you made it this far in the video, or if you enjoyed the video, or both. If you did both, press that like button. And anyways, guys, I'm gonna give this GM a few days for you guys to comment on, and comment on the trades we should make. Maybe you think we should trade, I don't know, Toby Instrom for, I don't know, a younger defensive prospect, or maybe you want me to go acquire a certain player. Comment it down below, and I will. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
We're back from the dead.